everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Poppin' Off podcast. My name is Tyler, and I'm joined by...
Aaron, Wannabe Comedy.
And if you guys have been listening to all 2 of our previous episodes, so many, last week we mentioned we're going to be discussing the 2019 film, Godzilla King of the Monsters, in great detail, mainly because Aaron here does not like the movie. And I was really puzzled as to why, because I hadn't seen it yet, and I heard decent things about it, I think. So I did myself a favor, and I watched the movie, and I also rewatched the other 2 MonsterVerse movies in preparation for, Kong versus Godzilla. And, so real quick, we'll each give our thoughts on, the MonsterVerse in general, and then you can go ahead and do your epic rant, which I'm excited for. So, go ahead. Start with your favorite movie.
Yeah, so obviously, I'm pretty sure, I mentioned it in the first episode, but the 2014 Godzilla is my favorite movie, not just from the MonsterVerse, but of all movies ever. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And, rewatching it, I still feel the exact same way as I did originally.
Okay.
I just think everything about it is just kind of perfect and exactly what I wanted out of a Godzilla movie. Because, the whole movie, I know that's the biggest thing is that he doesn't show up for much, but I think that kind of helps the movie in a way because it still has that, well, is he good or is he bad? He's destroying things, obviously at the end it turns out to be good, but it's still he's not this superhero. He's kind of just this big monster that everyone just kind of trying to figure out what he's doing and what he's up to. And there's the Mutos, which I think were good villains, I guess villains. And I think that them kind of waiting to show Godzilla doing all this stuff, it really it makes the end kind of seem a lot more impactful. Yes, he's finally here. And when you see everything he can do, the moment you see just that blue on Ford's face when he's starting to light up his thing, I still go crazy singing it. It's so cool.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's just everything about it was just really good. And then I like all the characters. It has Aaron Taylor Johnson, Bryan Cranston, Olsen, which is a great cast, and Gareth Edwards, I think he directed it the best way possibly. The cinematography was, it's not crazy groundbreaking, but I think it kind of fits this type of movie. And just, it's great. Also, not to mention, I think the score is really kind of, I like this score in this movie better than I did with the Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I know is a crazy thing to say because King of the Monsters uses the whole original theme, but I feel they kind of take it a bit overboard in that movie, which I'll get to later on. But I like the kind of it sounds like a traditional type of Godzilla movie, but modernized, if that makes any sense. And just and obviously the action is great. It's just really well done, and you definitely can feel because it's shot from a human's perspective, so you can feel how big and how gigantic it is.
Yeah,
and it's just really good, and I love that it's a drama movie. It's not so many movies nowadays try to be kind of where it's an action comedy. That's the go-to kind of basic movie where it's it's an action movie, some comedy thrown in, early Marvel type of things, Fast and Furious. And this movie it has maybe 1 or 2 jokes in it. I can't even think of it from the top right now, but it's mainly it sticks to being serious,
right?
And that's what I liked about it so much. It feels like if Godzilla was in the real world, that's what it would be like, which I love. So yeah, I obviously still think it's a perfect movie. I love everything about it. I guess the one thing I can complain about is I wouldn't even know, because it's funny, when I went and watched the original, when I watched it for the first time in theaters, it looked normal and fine. It wasn't until the Blu-ray came out that I was it just does look a little bit dark, but I remembered it being so much brighter But now the 4K came out and it's so much brighter. I'm like, I feel like that's how it originally was, and just the Blu-ray was just a bad kind of transfer. So
Yeah.
I guess like when you're watching it from the original Blu-ray, it does look a little bit dark.
Hmm.
But again, the 4K is supposed to fix that, which I'm gonna pick up.
Yeah.
And I would recommend a lot do if it really doesn't make a difference.
Mm.
And yeah, I guess that's all I got to say. I know you weren't like the biggest fan, so I'm interested to kind of hear what you got to say.
It's funny that you say that it was dark because I haven't watched the movie in probably like 5 years at least. It's been a while, just because there's a lot of other things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I rewatched the Blu-ray and I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, why is the movie so damn dark? I don't remember it being this dark, because I did see it in theaters back in 2014, and when I first saw it, I remember really enjoying it because my friend Rob that I mentioned last time, he's also a big Godzilla fan, and we used to watch some of the older Godzilla movies at his house, like the poorly dubbed, movies, and we always make fun of the dubbing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we watched it and it was good. And then, I didn't watch it for a long time, like I said, and rewatching it, I pretty much feel the same way. Like, I think it's a pretty solid movie. Like you said, it's a little dark on the Blu-ray, but whatever. I saw what happened. Bryan Cranston gave a great performance. My only gripe really sort of is that I don't find any of the other characters too interesting. But like you said, though, it is like a realistic sort of take. Like, if this really did happen, and it's basically about like three family members all being separated from each other, and then how they all each deal with the situation. Like, she's a nurse or whatever, and then he's a soldier, and then the son is separate also. It's just a crazy situation with like, what if this did happen and a city got attacked? There's two Mutos going against Godzilla, which I thought was cool. It was like a 2-on-1 thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you don't see Godzilla to the end, but it's sort of like that classic, horror movie thing where it's like they really build it up to the end,
Mm-hmm.
and it really is a good payoff, because when he finally lights up, the Mutos, and shoots the flame down its mouth, that was amazing. I remember in the theater when that happened, we were all cheering. It was so cool.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
When the airport scene happened, I remember everyone like freaked out when you just hear the big boom of the step and everyone just goes quiet. Like
Oh yeah.
it was everyone's freaking out, and it's still one of my favorite scenes.
And when Godzilla roars for the first time, that loud roar
Oh
that goes
yeah.
on for like 10 seconds, it's like, oh my God, that was so cool to wait for that moment. And I really do like the part too. They actually use some music from 2001: A Space Odyssey when they're jumping out of the plane, they're parachuting, and then they have the red.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that part because it's cool hearing music from another famous movie in this one, and I think it fits perfectly.
I think they're bringing it back for Godzilla versus Kong. They use it in the trailer, which
Oh,
I was like, oh my
oh
god,
yeah,
yes.
that
They
would be
did a
so cool.
callback to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I think it's a solid movie. A solid, for me, I would say a solid like 8.5 out of 10, maybe an 8. I don't know. I don't love it. I'm sort of like in the eight between 8 and 8.5 range for me. But yeah, I definitely can understand why you love it, as much as you do. But yes, I will say it's definitely better than the sequel, which we will get to. But real quick, let's go over Kong Skull Island, which is the next movie, and real quick, if you want to talk about that one.
Yeah, it's so funny with Kong because every time I rewatch it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really good, but I just
Mhm.
never end up like remembering to watch it, or like I'm not
Yeah.
ever like, I'm gonna put on Kong Skull Island, or like I guess that works because every time I put it back, I just put it back on. I'm like surprised again by how
Hmm.
good it is. But yeah, like I always have it, but I'm never like, oh, that sounds like it could be really good to watch. But after rewatching it now, I keep reminding myself, yeah, this is like a cool movie. Like it's a good King Kong movie.
Yeah.
Um, uh, it's not as good as Godzilla. But I like this style they're going for. It's like this movie's very stylized.
Yes. Yes.
It feels like it does have its cheesiness, which is one of the flaws I think it has. Like it gets a little bit
Hmm.
too cheesy. Like for example, the very beginning where it's like the two soldiers. I thought that was like a parody. In the beginning, I thought that was like a bad play of like the war or whatever, or something someone was watching on TV.
Right. A movie within the movie.
But it
Yeah.
ended up being a part. Yeah, but it ended up being a part of it. Like that was like a crucial moment.
Uh huh.
So I was like, oh, okay. And there's the notorious scene where he wears like where it was Tom Hiddleston. He wears a gas mask and he's like slow motion chopping up things.
Right.
But I do really like this movie. It's edited. There's some good like kind of cuts in there. I just think the editing of the whole movie was really good.
Yeah.
And Kong was really cool. Like it's weird because sometimes with King Kong movies, it can get a little slow or boring with how much you try to focus on like, the island and its history and how it kind of brought Kong, which I don't have a problem with. Like, I do like the 2005 King Kong, but it does feel long.
Yes.
This one, I think they do a good job of kind of mixing the action and kind of trying to help you understand like who Kong is, like what the island is.
Mm-hmm.
And the score is not bad.
Right.
The action is fantastic, like how they use Kong fighting these monsters.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
For the characters, for the most part, it's like they're main characters, yet they somehow still, some of them feel like side characters.
Yeah.
Like, they start out with John Goodman, right? Is that what his name is?
Yeah.
From 10 Cloverfield Lane. And he just gets killed, like, boom, in a quick second. And there was a dude who had the grenade and was going to sacrifice himself, and he just completely just gets pushed into a hill and blows up.
So weird, yeah.
So, yeah. So, a lot of the characters do kind of like, well, that's it with them. And there's also that occasional cheesiness. Now that I have seen Godzilla King of the Monsters, this cheesiness isn't so bad. But
right.
but yeah, it's a solid movie. The characters, the ones that do stick out throughout the movie, they're good. I think it concludes very well. The action is great, and yeah, it's a good movie. That just never really. It's not one that pops out instantly when you're trying to think of like a good movie. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's funny that you say John Goodman from Cloverfield. I'm like, you mean John Goodman from Big Lebowski? No,
right.
Yeah. Well, King Kong. Okay, so here's the thing with me and King Kong. Like, I've had a long sort of history of King Kong in my life. Well, it really started like at Universal Studios. They had the King Kong ride, the old one, where it was like 3D. You're on a tram. Mm-hmm. No, it was different actually. The one in Florida, at least. I believe the Hollywood one actually had the same kind of thing too.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Hollywood, they did have it. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're in a tram and you're going through New York City, and there's a giant King Kong animatronic, and it attacks the tram, and you're on it. And it's like really realistic from what I remember. Like I was 7 years old when the ride closed, but I still remember going on it. So like I always remember that experience, and also watching the 2005 King Kong that came out when I was 9. I was around the right age for that. Big action movie, big epic action movie. Peter Jackson did a great job on that one. And then years later, I watched the original 1933 King Kong, which is, a masterpiece in terms of, all the technical things that they did, stop motion, the special effects, everything. So I've always like really loved King Kong, like the character, the franchise, all that stuff. I wasn't always the biggest Godzilla fan per se, but I was more of a King Kong guy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So when I went into this new movie, I was like, all right, they're obviously going to not kill King Kong off at the end because he's going to fight Godzilla at some point because they're doing the Monsterverse. So it's not going to be the same old shtick where it's like he falls in love with Andero and then they go to New York and he climbs the Empire State Building with her and then they gun him down. It's going to be a totally different thing. And that's what I really was looking forward to in this movie.
Yes.
So with this movie, there's 3 things that I really love about it, and there's a lot of stuff I don't love about it. So the 3 things I love, first of all, I love John C. Reilly's character and his arc. I think it's very well done. I think at the end when he finally goes back home and he sees his wife and his son and the music's playing, and I think it's really earned and it's really emotional. It's really well done. I really love his portrayal. I thought he was the perfect balance of like PTSD with humor, you know what I mean? Like he was funny, but he was also like this guy who's like, no, we can't go on that side of the island because it's dangerous, and he really portrayed a guy who was living there for like, 30 years, and getting to know all the natives and stuff. Yeah. So he was like the perfect balance of like crazy, but also, like serious. So I love that character arc. And then the next thing I love about the movie is the soundtrack, the aesthetic, the whole, it feels like a B movie, but with good special effects, like an old B movie
Yes,
from like the
that's what I
50s or
forgot to
60s.
mention.
Yeah, with like really good special
Yeah.
effects and monsters and all that.
Hmm.
Um, and then the third thing I really love about the movie is, like I said, it's not the same old shtick and it's different. And uh, King Kong is actually bigger than normally what he is. Like they obviously had to beef him up because he has to be Godzilla sized. Before he was only, I don't know how tall he is. Like when he goes on the Empire State Building, obviously in this franchise he's going to be way taller than that. But I do like that it was a totally different thing. And yeah, I can't wait to see what happens in the Versus movie. But on the other hand, with this movie, I don't know if you noticed this, but the camera cuts like every 3 seconds, and it's so it's like this
I
weird.
never noticed that.
Yeah, like it really happens more in the beginning of the movie before they get to Skull Island.
Mhm.
Because what they're trying to do, from what I can tell, is really get you to the action as fast as possible. So with all this exposition stuff with John Goodman and what's his name, who played Dr. Dre, Corey Hawkins, when they're like going to
Mhm.
recruit Tom Hiddleston and all these, whatever, all that stuff before Skull Island, the camera cuts like every 3 seconds. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is like really distracting for me because I'm used to
Bohemian
watching.
Rhapsody.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. And somehow that movie won an Oscar for best editing. I don't know how that happened. But anyways, yeah, that really bothered me. And then on Skull Island, it's still kind of there, but it's not as bad. And out of curiosity, I looked it up online. I'm like, wow, did other people notice this? And yeah, it's a thing. Everyone's like, dude, the editing in Kong Skull Island is crazy. Like I don't know why they have so many short takes. They try, because the thing is nowadays, younger people have like a shorter attention span, I guess, with, these modern movies. So it's like, they don't want to have long takes in movies out of fear people might get bored or something. I don't know. So people are saying, like, if you have so many short takes in movies, you don't get enough chance for the characters to develop and you can't see any sort of nuances in the actors' performances. And that's true, because in this movie, aside from John C. Reilly, all the characters are kind of flat for me. You know what I mean? Like, I like them. Sam Jackson is probably the closest to being another, John C. Reilly level character I like. But even him is like, I don't know, it's kind of generic. But I don't know. It's just the characters are very flat for me. There's a lot of great actors in it, though, like I said. And the action spectacular, the effects are spectacular. But it's just, man, that fast chop editing like that just gets to me. Like, I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, overall, I do enjoy the movie a little more than the first Godzilla. But I will say objectively, the first Godzilla is a better film than Kong Skull Island. Like, it's definitely, overall speaking, like I'll give Kong Skull Island probably like a 7.5 to an 8, whereas Godzilla I'd give an 8 to an 8.5. But yeah, I do find both movies to be very good overall. And now we'll move on to Godzilla 2 and your epic rants. But real quick, I will say,
yeah. I'll let you go first.
Okay, I didn't hate the movie, but I totally see what you're meant by the characters. Oh my lord, the characters suck. They suck. Oh my god, they suck. I will say overall the action was very good. Unfortunately, the first few fight scenes were kind of short for me. The last fight scene between Godzilla and Mothra versus Ghidorah and Rodan, I thought that was good enough. I thought that we saw enough of that. But the first time you see Ghidorah, for instance, come out and fight Godzilla, they keep cutting to the humans. I'm like, can you stop showing these people? I don't care if they can't get out of their helicopter or whatever. Can you stop showing them? It's annoying. I want to see these two fight each other. And yeah, I really like how Ghidorah was like really an asshole in the movie. Just like totally beating the crap out of Godzilla. Godzilla fake died for a minute there. I thought Ken Watanabe, I can't pronounce his name. His sacrifice scene, I actually really liked that scene. I thought it was good. But yeah, the movie, the characters suck. They focus way too much on the characters. And yeah, I have other things to say, but let me hear your take. I've been waiting for this. Go ahead.
This movie can go just not exist anymore. This movie is absolutely abysmal. So let's take it from a difference. Like, Godzilla, the 2014 movie, it felt very grounded. It felt like a movie that could happen if Godzilla existed.
Mm-hmm.
Kong Skull Island, it had its cheesiness, but it still felt like it was more of like a grounded take of King Kong or a big monster island. This movie, it goes full on cartoon mode, and I don't understand why. Like, literally, this feels like what like this took a completely different like departure from everything else that was set up in the Monsterverse.
Right.
Oh my god, I cannot tell you how annoyed I was that every 3 seconds there was some stupid punchline
Oh
or
yeah.
joke
Oh
from
my
that one
god.
dude with the white hair and the glasses.
Yes.
Yeah, he says a joke every 4 seconds and it's always awful. Like literally, I just fell back in my seat when I first watched it and he was like, "Oh my god," and he goes, "Zilla." Like a couple seconds later, I was like, "No, they did not do that in this movie." Like what?
Was he the one that said God's oh no, who was it? Which monster was it? He was I think it was Rodan. They're like Rodan came here to fight, feast, or find a mate or whatever, because he was gonna say the F
Yeah.
word. Yeah, I was like, is that really a joke in this movie? Like, what was that?
Like there's this big giant 3-headed monster attacking a city with and a whole baseball field, and the first thing he says is, "Bet it's a bad day to be a Red Sox fan."
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
What? Why? Who wrote this movie?
Man.
But so yeah, just the writing is awful. Like, why did they have to throw in like, it's okay to have jokes. Like Marvel does that. Like Marvel has pretty much mastered that at this point. Like finding the right time to be humorous in the middle of kind of drama. This movie is just not subtle at all. They just throw in a joke every chance they get, and it's so annoying. And just, oh man, you kind of root for Ghidorah at sometimes,
Yeah, I kind of was hoping like a lot of those people would die, but unfortunately, none of them did. The only person that died was the mother. And I actually kind of understood like the arc, like her reasoning behind unleashing the monsters. I was like, oh, I guess that kind of makes sense, even though I doubt that would actually happen in real life. But I could see that happening. In the movie. But
unlike the dad character, who's the most overdramatic, like, we don't know why God, like what are we doing here? What? Like, why was he delivering his lines like that? He was like so aggressive with it.
Yeah,
he even
Kyle
does
Chandler,
this in the Godzilla versus Kong trailer. Like, he's good in Super 8 and like any other thing I've seen him. I don't know why they chose this movie for him to be like so like, I guess, aggressive with this line delivery, or just like, I don't know. It was so weird. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And
you know what's funny too? I gotta say real quick.
Yeah.
One thing that really puzzled me, like when I was watching the movie, like I know Monarch is this big organization or whatever, and they're tasked with dealing with monsters. But like, I'm like, where do they get all this money to build this underwater base that's the size of Godzilla to like track him? And they got military on it at all times, but they haven't seen Godzilla in 5 years. So like, what are they doing all this whole time? Like, are they just down there, just walking around, just let's wait for Godzilla? I don't know. Like, it's just like, where do they get the money? Yeah, where do they get the money to like this thing? This is like $1 billion freaking unit to build, and I don't know. It's like, it's very weird. And then they're shooting guns at Ghidorah, by the way. Like, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, when Ghidorah first comes out, there's like a batch of soldiers standing in front of him, and they're shooting guns. I'm like, dude, turn around and run away, because this monster has 3 heads, and it's the size of freaking, I don't know, the Eiffel Tower, and it's gonna kill you. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. What was it? They start trying to help Godzilla, which, there's that meme with the Godfather where it's like, look how they massacred my boy. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
Seeing Godzilla in this movie, like,
right.
He is just this. They make him this superhero, and I don't understand why. Like, they make it. There's literally one shot where I rolled my eyes. It's there's the big scene with the poster, where he's shooting the thing in the air after he gets reborn, and then they do this weird zoom in on him. It's like this office level zoom in on his face.
Office.
And it's supposed to be like, oh, look how cool he is. But I was like, this sucks. What is this?
They're almost making him too much of a good guy.
Oh my god, yes. Like I said, like in the last episode, or the first one, whatever, he, like, in the first movie destroys bridges with kids on it. And like, he goes like people shouldn't be like, oh yeah, he's like this superhero type of person. Like, yes, he did save the world, but he is still a monster. But in this movie, they make him seem like he's like this grand, just great guy who's all about the world. And he does, like, he's supposed to be like, apparently he communicates very well with the humans. He's like the superhero. Like, they make him a cartoon. They make him a cartoon superhero. Like, he's just this big, powerful monster that just protects the world. And is good and has nothing bad about him, and he apparently can have all these like emotional reactions. Like you can see, like obviously in the first movie, there's moments where it's subtle, but you can kind of tell when he's like sad, like when he's dying. You know, him and Ford, they lock eyes. You know, in the first movie,
Yeah.
like you can tell Godzilla's like a little bit down, but it's subtle. This movie, he's over there making facial expressions and everything. Yeah, so I just wasn't a fan, and I feel like there's little moments where they start to kind of do something good, and they just either just force it or they just go way too overboard with it. Like, for example, the score. Like, you know, it would have been cool where it's like a normal, like, you know, Godzilla score, and then maybe towards the end they have that subtle little build up, and then the Godzilla theme.
Yes.
They kind of have it going throughout, and it's so just like boom, boom, like it's just there. And like, you know, there's like all the chanting or whatever, and it's like this is like way too much. Like, what are they doing this for? And you know, the action, it's cool when it's there, but I feel like it just at some point it gets a little boring because it's just like they do the like there's only so much you can do when the entire time it's just Ghidorah being overpowered as heck. And just that's like the whole that's every fight scene. And speaking of Ghidorah being overpowerful, they wasted that's one of my biggest problems. They wasted so much stuff in this movie just simply for fan service, which should have been so much cooler. Like, they obviously wanted Ghidorah to be this big monster, which you can do, but you don't have to make him seem like he's literally like indestructible. Like, as soon as he chops off one head, boom, he just grows another one.
Yeah,
like, okay,
I was like, what?
What was the point of that? What was the point of any of it? And I feel like because they made him try to seem so powerful, I feel like the director, whoever, they didn't know how to kill him off. So they wasted what was possibly could have been one of the best Godzilla plots. Like, you know, in the first movie, they're like, oh, you know, he's just this big monster. He's kind of like, he's scary. In this movie, he's like, okay, maybe he's not so bad. Maybe he could be on our side. But like, just imagine how cool like a burning Godzilla thing would have been. Like, if, like, you know, he's coming close to exploding, and you know, there's some people who are like, no, look how much he's done for us. Like, he's obviously a good guy. Don't kill him. And maybe like the military or whatever is like, no, we have to kill him. He's gonna explode. Like, that would have been such a cool plot. And they waste it for it seemed like a 4-second scene just so they have some easy way to kill Ghidorah, because they made him so powerful they didn't know any way to do it. So, oh yeah, let me just throw in this big burning Godzilla reference just real quick in the movie, a big massive thing. Let me just put that for 4 seconds, which comes out of nowhere. Like, obviously they say, oh yeah, he's gonna just die, whatever, but no, he doesn't blow up. He just turns into like this big fire monster. Like, I guess he has like some little waves, but they're not even that big. You would think he'd be like a nuke that would take out like an entire continent.
Yeah.
No, he just does this little big wave of, and he just gets on fire, and then he completely goes away out of nowhere towards the end. As soon as he kills Ghidorah, and you know, I would say none of the other characters, like Mothra. You know, Mothra's cool, but it's like she's kind of just there. Rodan, he's kind of just there. Yeah. And like, I feel like if this movie would have just stuck to at least maybe just 2, maybe 3. But no, they have to throw in every character because this movie just depends on that fan service, because they think, oh yeah, this is for the fans. But you know, there's, to an extent, there's like way too much. Like, you know, with the Marvel movies, they have that fan service there, but you know, that's just a little part of it, or maybe a little Easter egg, or it's like a cool callback of later on or far down the line. They do everything right here in one movie, and it just all feels so wasted. And you know, they like try to cram in everything. Like, they like, you know, in the original movies, Mothra, you know, it has those little twins. They kind of just like mention that very briefly, like a quick second. It seems like, oh, I guess there might be twins, I guess, like the original movies. And there's the burning Godzilla thing, and you know, it's just it's so bad, and the characters are so boring. Like, you know, they don't like, what was even the plot? It's like they have a device that like makes monsters like go to them. Or was that what it was? Like,
yeah,
I just like watched it, but I already forgot. It was just like, you know, it was like, what was this plot? It's just like, I don't understand.
They
And
needed to find an easy way
like
to like get all the monsters out, I guess. Like they use this device to awaken monsters. That way you can easily get all the monsters out. Like I don't know, because they're trying to like what did they say? There's like 17 monsters on the planet, so like they wanted to find a way to easily get all 17 awakened or something. Like I don't know.
yeah, I feel like that's the big problem with this movie. They're trying to find quick ways to get to the next scene, just so they can have some sort of way to show Godzilla doing something. But the thing is, when they do show Godzilla doing something, it's either so boring or just like okay, but you then cut to a character not being able to go in a helicopter. Like, why do we need to see this right now?
Right.
Like, obviously, in the first movie, at the very end, it cuts them, but that's because there's like a big bomb in the city. Like, we have to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. This one just cuts them just reacting, or like they're like, but they're not even reacting in like a scared way. They're like making jokes, and I'm like, what is this? And they're just like, I don't even remember half their names. Like, I don't know any of them. They're all just kind of they blend in just so well together, but they don't have nothing interesting about them. They just like make a joke, be serious about something, and that's it. That's the character. They don't have any personality. They don't have any backstory. They just suck. Like I guess the backstory was that Godzilla accidentally killed one of their kids during the Battle of San Francisco.
Right.
And then the next moment they're like, "Oh yeah, Godzilla's so great. He's our hero." Like what? Oh my god, I forgot, because it's so just like dumb. There's also that little side villain who's like the British dude. Like, what was that about?
Charles Dance,
like, why?
From Game of Thrones. Yeah. I got excited when I saw him because I didn't know he was in the movie. And I don't know if you've ever seen Game of Thrones, but he is fantastic in that show. He's like a villain.
Funny enough, the only Game of Thrones I've seen was the last season.
Oh really? Did you understand what was happening?
Yeah, I had my mom watched it, so I had her give me like a kind of quick, easy, just synopsis of the basics, and then I watched the last season.
Okay, so unfortunately,
which happens, I guess, to be the worst.
Yes, unfortunately, you watched the worst season. So do yourself a favor and one day and watch the beginning for 7 seasons. No, he is, he is great, and I was excited when I saw him in this movie. I was like, oh man, he's gonna be this awesome human villain. But like you said, the human character sucks. So in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right. Aaron doesn't like this movie. He says all the characters suck. So what's going on? And apparently, you were right, because he didn't do much in the movie. Like, he shows up after the credits or whatever, and I guess he's going to get Ghidorah back or whatever. But in terms of this movie, he was barely there. He didn't do much. They made the wife the main villain in a way. He was sort of a disappointment for me because they didn't utilize him as well as they could have.
He's there to look evil, say bad lines, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's his character. Say bad lines menacingly. It's just, the action, it does have its cool little moments. Where, there's some that was pretty cool towards the end where, he gets thrown into a building where it goes Ghidorah, cool little stuff like that. It's cool to see. So there's a lot of people who like this movie, and the big thing is like, well, I just came to see the monsters fight, and that's what I got. But I didn't even see the monsters fight that much. Like, they fight a couple of times throughout the movie, but then you're stuck with that big chunk of the movie, these boring characters you do not care about doing stuff you don't care about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what they're doing is boring. They're boring. What's the point of any of it besides just to move on to the next action scene, which is like an hour later, and it's like 3 seconds until you get to the final one, which, you still come back to them having looked for the girl in the bathtub. So it's like, none of it is just even cool. Like, I guess the good thing I will say about it is, there's some, I guess, good cinematography. Like, there's some cool shots at a couple of times, but then they go and do dumb stuff like office zoom-ins on Godzilla's face.
Office zoom-ins.
So,
oh my god.
It's just such a bad movie compared to the first one. I'm pretty sure I could, if I wrote out a big script, I can get everything probably a little bit more detailed than I say, but for the most part, I said everything that I do hate about it. It's just not good. It's not good. And it's just, you can also feel the runtime. It's like, this is supposed to be a shorter movie, but it feels so long.
Yeah, I kept looking at the time.
There's so many times I was like, just there's so many times I'm like, just skip forward, but I can't. I have to do this for the podcast.
So it was worse
And
the second
oh
time,
man.
obviously, right? Like the first time watching it was bad, but the second time was probably worse because you already
Well,
knew.
I watched it from the first. No, okay, I've watched it 3 times. I watched it the first time in theaters where
Uh
I walked out disgusted. I watched it when I first bought it on Blu-ray because I was like, maybe this isn't as bad, and I just went in with a bunch of because I did. I'm gonna be honest, I did go in with some expectations because I
huh.
waited 5 years for this movie. Like I remember, after 2014 Godzilla came out, it was like about a month later they announced they're gonna make a sequel, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna make a sequel. And it was supposed to come out in 2000. I think it was 15. No, what was it? It was 16. 2016. It was supposed to come out with
Okay.
Gareth Edwards back. That didn't happen. It got delayed to 2017. I was like, okay, this is gonna come out. Nope, got delayed to 2018. And then they're like, oh no, Michael Dougherty's directing it. He's going to be the one in charge. He's like, hey, bring you more cast. I was like, okay, it's happening. It's probably going to be a little bit more different, but at least it's happening. The
Hmm.
trailer came out, and I was like, I was expecting to be have my mind blown, like how I was with the first Godzilla movie. The first Godzilla movie,
Hmm.
like when I saw that trailer for the first time, I didn't know anything about it. That movie is the movie that introduced me to Godzilla, kind of.
Okay.
Like that movie is what made me want to research Godzilla and get into as big of a Godzilla fan as I am now.
Yeah.
And um like when I saw that trailer, like just that music from 2001: A Space Odyssey, that just shows the whole
Hmm.
kind of Halo jump scene, and then you just briefly see Godzilla, and you're like, oh my god, like what is this movie? This looks so cool. And with Godzilla 2, it's like, I guess it's an okay trailer. Like I was like, that's fine, it's
Hmm.
cool, I guess. And then they get to the second trailer where it's just very cheesy. They're playing that like that one rap song, and I'm like, I don't think this works, but okay. Um, and then the movie came out, and it was awful. So I went in with, well, even though I was a little like, I went in with not as high expectations as I would have, but I still went in with some expectations. I was like, it's Godzilla, even if it sucks, the big monster scenes would be cool. I was wrong. It was everything that I thought it was like the opposite of everything I went in thinking it was going to be.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, I watched the first time, it was awful. And I was like, maybe the second time, if I go in kind of approaching it a different way, maybe I'll like it. Nope, still bad. And then I watched it the third time for the podcast, and it just gets worse every time.
Oh
So,
my god.
uh, yeah, this movie just sucks. Why did they do this? Why did they make it a cartoon? I don't know why. They need to fire whoever wrote the script. Like, don't let it get anywhere near Godzilla again,
Uh-huh.
ever. And the end credit scenes, like they do a cover of the Blue Oyster Cult
Oh
song, and I
yeah,
was
that
like,
was cool. Hmm.
what? Yeah, I was like, well, that's like unexpected.
Hmm.
But then again, they're shoving like 20 references in like the matter of 3 seconds. Like there's an egg. Like I'm pretty sure you didn't even notice that. There's like apparently some egg hatching. There's like
Yeah.
talks about like Mechagodzilla. They briefly mentioned Kong. It's like, okay, you're trying to just throw in more references. Like stop it. Just stop. Stop just doing things.
Yeah, it's definitely like Iron Man 2, where they kept throwing in all this other stuff, referencing things to come, and it's like, man, we kind of forgot about Iron Man 2. Like, what's going on in this movie? Like, can we get
Okay,
back to
yeah,
the
okay.
movie?
Here's what I
Yeah.
say about that. I'm not the biggest Iron Man 2 hater as many people think. And you're like, well, if you hated Godzilla 2, why don't you hate Iron Man 2? Because at least, Iron Man, he's still Iron Man. He has that character, that I
Right.
guess charm, whatever. So, he's still entertaining. And not gonna lie, the action in that movie is pretty cool. Like, there's a whole highway sequence. There's, the end with like that cool, like just there's no music and just fighting all those robots. The
Hmm.
action sequence is cool, and the characters are still their normal selves that you care about. This movie just expect you to care about these nothing characters. They don't give them any backstory, and they just have them say like it seems like they're all like they're playing the exact same character,
Hmm.
and it's just like move on, just move on. Um,
You know what I think it is, actually? I think what they were trying to do, because like maybe some people complain about the first Godzilla not having enough comedy or something, like you said, or maybe there wasn't enough monster action. So what they did in this movie, they just amplified it way too much. Like they put too much comedy and too much, well, not I wouldn't say too much monster action, but they definitely like just put too much of everything in it. Like it was just a mess. Like yeah, I agree with you. Like it's not as solid. The first movie's very solid. This one is just it seemed a little too ambitious, and they did stick the landing.
I feel like they tried to be like, oh yeah, here's like it's supposed to be a cheesy big monster movie, like kind of how the originals were. But the originals had like, you know, they were from a time, so like they're gonna be cheesy,
Right.
and they were made in Japan, and they have that kind of vibe, and you like it's from a different era, so like you can like it's okay. You kind of like your mind automatically kind of gives it a pass because you know what time era it's from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like even in like the monster stuff, it's like it's funny to watch. Like it's like they don't try to make it super cool or whatever. It's just fun to watch, I guess. I don't like to use the word fun too much when describing movies because it's so vague.
Yeah.
But it is fun. Like it's just fun to watch like those original Godzilla movies. This one, it's like you're made in like the year, what was it, 2019?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it like this? Like you're
Right.
trying what, like it felt like everything they're trying to do, they're trying way too hard. And another line I absolutely hated was they're like, oh look, it's Godzilla, he might be on our side. And like, damn right.
Oh
It's
yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, the line, the line delivery in every single line was just bad. Like they'd say it either way too early or way. Oh yeah, also the dude from the was it like T-Mobile commercials in this movie? I completely forgot about that.
Thomas Middleditch, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
that was the character.
Another comedic relief. They wanted to have. They were really going for the comedy in this one, and it did not work. Honestly,
every single character is a comedic relief.
Yeah.
And I went in because if you don't, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, okay. Every single. I'm pretty sure most people. Well, actually, no, I haven't mentioned it on the podcast. I do not like Stranger Things at all. It's like one of my least favorite shows.
Oh, here we go.
So I was like, okay, maybe they can redeem Millie Bobby Brown in this movie. She's so annoying in this movie. Like, I was like, I found 11 to be annoying, but this just like goes beyond that. He just like does dumb stuff, just complains the entire time, just like flips everybody off every couple seconds.
Oh,
like
yeah.
what? Why?
I don't know.
It's like this character is just he's so annoying. Like it's like when everyone used to complain about those kids in movies where it's like, why aren't they in this movie? They just act either snarky or they just ruin it, and their acting isn't great. I don't even think the acting was that great either. It's just like they're there to just annoy you, like be like they're trying to make her seem like this realistic kid, but then they have her do like these like things that no kid would ever do or act like, and it's just so like, oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
I guess it's made me appreciate Stranger Things a little bit more. Not much, I still have to hate that show, but this made me appreciate that performance a little bit more because at least it seemed like they're like trying something in Stranger Things. This movie didn't even seem like they were trying. Like they're just like, here's a character, just be it. Like don't like there was like no direction involved. Like they're just like be annoying. Go like to every person on the set. Just go be annoying. Deliver dumb one-liners, do dumb things, and we'll cut to some big monster thing for a couple seconds, so people think that they're watching something cool, but we're really not. Yeah, sorry, I keep sighing in this because it's just so disappointing.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, the disappointment like you must have.
Man, it's just so disappointing. However, I guess we can kind of move on a little bit. The trailer for Godzilla versus Kong has kind of lifted me out of that. I originally thought, like, oh yeah, like I mentioned, I absolutely despise how this movie ends. Like Godzilla 2, I did not like how it ends at all. It's so corny and so stupid how they all just start bowing to Godzilla.
Yeah.
I was like, what? This is so dumb.
They took it a little, a little too
like,
literally with the King of the Monsters. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like they're taking that like way too literally. Like you meant, that's perfect. Like they take it way too literally. Like they're like these big monsters, and they're over here just like bowing to him, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm like Godzilla was never supposed to like know he was a hero. He just like just protect people, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm this big person. You better bow to me. And he's like, oh, they're standing there roaring when they're all like bowing to him. And he's like trying to check them, and apparently there's another Muto now, I guess.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Ruins the point of the first movie.
Right. Because they had the mate, yeah.
Like, oh man. I set a timer for all the good scenes in this movie. It ended right as soon as you see the character. It starts out with a 2014 movie. As soon as it cuts to the character, it just ends. Like, it just ruined all the 2014 stuff. Like, in the beginning, you can even see the background. You see the characters doing the Halo jump. I was like, oh yeah, cool. Oh, never mind. Just ruined it by having some character. That sucks already. And I do like the scene where you first get introduced into Godzilla and see him kind of like underwater. You just see his little eyes going, they're blinking. I thought that was cool, but that's about it. Like there's only like I guess like 5 seconds of goodness in this movie. So yeah, this movie sucks. Don't watch it. I give it F. If I give it an F. What do you say, Tyler?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what's your rating for all three movies. I'm assuming the first movie's a 10 out of 10 for you.
Okay, yeah. Godzilla, the 2014 was an A plus. Kong Skull Island, I give it a solid B. I give it a solid B.
Okay.
B plus maybe. It's good. And this movie I give an F. Too.
Yeah,
I thought the trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong was much better than all of Godzilla King of the Monsters.
I'm very generous when it comes to ratings. So yeah, I'd probably give this like a 6 out of 10. I'm pretty generous when it comes to rankings. So yeah, 6. But it's I'm thinking you're starting to sway me to like the 5 zone. But yeah, I think a solid.
Tyler, give it a 5.
All right, I'm gonna give it a 5.5 to suit both of us. So
okay.
Yeah, Godzilla 2 is a 5.5. Yeah, Godzilla 1's 8 to 8.5. I'll probably just say 8.5. It's pretty good. Skull Island's probably an 8 for me actually. So yeah, this one is pretty bad. And it's been out for almost 2 years now, so I'm sure everybody's seen it. And in the comments, if you guys could on the YouTube version of the podcast, please like discuss with us about this because somebody actually left a comment on the last week's episode saying, "Oh, you guys are totally you should go and look at it. Actually, it's kind of funny." This person was saying Godzilla 2 is actually way better than Godzilla 1.
That's literally not possible.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so funny when they come back. I forget the person's name. They comment on a lot of my videos. I apologize. I'm gonna look your name up right now. But yeah, I'm sure they're gonna come back on this video and have.
Do you have the comment on you right now? Like,
I'm pulling it. I'm pulling it up for you. Let me see.
Okay, let me hear it.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, you want me to read the whole comment? Okay.
Yeah, I want you to read it to me.
Okay, so the person's name is the Cat Drums 3, and I appreciate you for subscribing to me for so long. I've seen you around on my comment sections.
I'm glad you're listening. Because we didn't talk about that later on. So the fact they're listening, we appreciate it here.
Yeah, so here's the comment. Here it goes. It says, "Bros, I'm so ready to fight you on literally every point you have against Godzilla King of the Monsters, a.k.a. the best film in the Monsterverse."
Absolutely not. That is... No.
Yeah, no. I don't agree. Oh, man.
I'd rather watch The Dead Don't Die.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
That was a more coherent, interesting story.
Yes, at least with that one you can get like high or something and just watch it and just be just.
And it has Sturgill Simpson.
Sturgill Simpson. Hello, people. Sturgill Simpson's on there. This movie is just irritating. Like it makes rip your hair out your head. Like it's like, man, this movie's going way too long. The characters suck, and yeah, I totally see what you meant. I agree with you.
So I will say, yesterday, they started opening theaters around me. Okay. So I pre-ordered my Godzilla vs. Kong tickets.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah. So it comes out on a Wednesday. It comes out on Wednesday. So I work nights, so I'm not gonna be able to watch it. So I'm just muting pretty much everything until Saturday because that's when I'm going to watch it.
Okay.
So I do have my tickets for Godzilla vs. Kong. I am gonna watch it. I'll talk about it here in the podcast when that does happen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you will too. I'm pretty sure we'll watch it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually did when they went on sale the other day. I bought 3 tickets. Me and 2 of my friends are gonna go see it in Dolby, which is awesome. And
me too. I'm watching it in Dolby too.
Nice. Okay, good. Are you going to your same theater again? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
Is opening up, so I'll
it came in clutch. Yeah. Good. Yeah, we're gonna be seeing in Dolby, and it's gonna be so fun because I haven't been to the movies with them in forever, and it's Godzilla vs. Kong, and I hope to God they fix their mistakes from Godzilla 2. It's not gonna be the same shit. It's gonna be good.
It looks like from the trailer. Like I guess we'll talk about kind of like our pre thoughts of Godzilla vs. Kong. It does look like they're trying to fix kind of everything they did. Like you obviously don't see any of the monsters that they try to have like Godzilla create an army of, I guess, at the end of the movie. Like it seems like they're kind of just like they're not there. which is cool because I don't want
Mhm.
like Godzilla to just be like this big person walking around, everyone just follows him and thinks he's cool. Um, uh, so that's cool. And you know what I loved about it is that it seems like they're taking more inspirations for Godzilla from the first movie rather than the second movie. Like even like you know, like I mentioned, they have the callback with the 2001 music playing in the trailer
Yeah.
when you first see Godzilla pop up destroying all the ships, which I thought was like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Mhm.
And they are making him what looks like a villain in this movie, which I absolutely love. And it
Right,
seems
right,
like it's taking itself a lot more serious than it is. Obviously, some of the characters are coming back from Godzilla King of the Monsters, but I do think they're trying to figure out kind of how to give them more of like a role and involve them and make them like take themselves more seriously, I suppose.
Yeah.
I will say though, I do feel like they're kind of leaning towards more Kong with everything they're showing. Like I feel like it's not as balanced enough, but I feel like they're kind of doing that on purpose. And there's something in the movie where it's like now you know why the trailers are kind of talking about Kong so much because maybe there's this big gigantic surprise of Godzilla, and he ends up being like this crazy thing that they tried to save for it. You know. Plus, I
Mhm.
also feel like so many people are doing that because Godzilla 2, you know, universally, besides like I guess some people, it's not that great. Like if you go around tomatoes, you go and everything, like it's not that greatly received. So I
Mhm.
feel like they didn't want to try to promote Godzilla too much because so many people weren't fans of that second movie.
Right.
And but you know they like Kong. So I feel like they're trying to show Kong more a little bit, so like people actually come and watch it and don't think, oh, this is going to be Godzilla 2 again. You
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, I think.
But it
Oh, go ahead.
continue.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I
Oh,
think
you can continue.
they're not gonna do the same crap again. Like they saw the reception, you know, they know what they did wrong. This time it's only two monsters. I mean, supposedly maybe Mechagodzilla might show up, so three tops, you know. So they definitely can't screw this up. Like, there's no way. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be a
I
definitive winner.
I'm sure this will be much better than Godzilla. Like I obviously the movie hasn't come out yet and I haven't seen, but I kind of have that feeling like it's going to try to at least try to be a little bit better than that. You know,
Hmm.
like it feels like they're like trying a little bit more to kind of make this feel like a better type of story and kind of tie the universe together. Um, and you know, it looks cool. Like you know, there's that whole light, like you see the night sequence. Like it looks like it's going to be a well shot movie. It
Yeah.
looks like it's going to really have that cool action that
Hmm.
you know we all wanted to see. And it looks like I think the director said they're going to try to focus on that. They're not going to cut to characters that are boring doing boring stuff. Like it's going to be like you know you get to fully indulge yourself or like just go into this action. So which I think is going to be cool. So I'm very excited. Like that trailer just completely saved me because if that
Right.
trailer was bad, I would have just been like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I give up.
Right. Because this is the
So
big movie. Yeah, they can't screw
this is
this
the
up.
big movie that would determine how good this kind of universe ends up being. I think.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I'm definitely excited for it now. I wasn't at first, but I really am intrigued and think that this will be something kind of more special than the second one was.
Yeah, so that comes out the 31st, which is a Wednesday, which is so random, but whatever. So we'll be talking about it. I guess that's 3 weeks from now on the podcast. So
Yeah, I guess
yeah,
3 weeks.
we got time to think. You know, hope and pray that it's good. But yeah, guys, that was Aaron's epic rant about Godzilla 2. It was just as good as I was hoping it would be. Um,
Oh man.
there's actually one last thing I want to talk about. Actually, I'm actually kind of
Okay.
scared about physical media right now because, dude, the physical media section in my Best Buy, the Blu-ray section, it's so tiny now.
Mhm.
Like it's smaller than when I saw it last time. It's like shrinking, and it's in the back of the store
Really?
now. Yeah, dude. Last week I mentioned I was gonna go pick up the Dread Steelbook or whatever on
Mhm.
release day because I pre-ordered it and it never shipped, and it was Monday and it still hadn't shipped. I'm like, oh, it's coming out tomorrow. I might as well cancel it, you
Yeah, I
know,
was gonna
pick it up at the
ask you about
store.
that.
Yeah, so I go to the store on Tuesday to pick it up, and they don't have any in stock. And I checked the app; it says they didn't have any in stock, but I went anyway because you know, what if they have it in the back and they just didn't take it out yet? Whatever.
Mhm.
So I go to customer service. I'm like, "Hey, do you guys have this item? Did you get it in? You just didn't put it out yet." And they're like, "No, we didn't get it in. Any of the stores nearby didn't get it in either." Like I had the guy check other stores, and he's like,
Mhm.
"Just check on the app; it'll tell you if it'll be in stock for sure in the coming days." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So every day I'm checking on the app to see if it gets in stock, and it's not in stock. And eventually it sells out. So I can't even buy it again if I wanted to, you know, online. So it's still
Dang.
sold out and it's still not in stock. So I'm like, what is going on with physical media? Like, are we just not getting new releases on time? Like, I don't know if it's a South Florida thing or what, but dude, like it was scary. Like I
Well,
was the section over there was so tiny.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's two Best Buys near me. There's you know there's places I can go get movies. There's Target, there's Walmart, there's Best Buy, but Best Buy is usually known for being the best.
Yes.
So there's two Best Buys near me. One of them, like, it used to have like a good like aisles you can go down of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Now they just have one little aisle and it's just like a little wall. Like not even then, it's just like this little section, and it's just everything was just kind of replaced by video game stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like they have those two little pop-out stands with like a couple movies on each side,
Mm-hmm.
and like this little section. The other Best Buy, however, it's still normal. Like they have like a good variety. Like it's like this big section full of movies, which I'm still so glad about. But like I noticed that Target, it was usually like the same old stuff, but it was a bigger like size of stuff. I go there now and it's like this little kind of like hallway. It doesn't, not like a hallway, but like this little row you kind of go down, and it's just like scattered, and it's mostly DVDs and not really much Blu-ray, and it's just kind of scattered all throughout. But it's weird because I think last year I kept reading a lot of stuff that different like companies were signing on for multiple year contracts for physical stuff. But it seems like so many stores now are just like, oh, just go do it online. I feel like it's going to become kind of like an online thing at some point, where that's the only way we can get it, which kind of sucks. But
I don't mind buying it online. I like either, buying online or going to the store is fine for me. But if you guys aren't going to have it on release day, it's like, geez, you're killing me, because my favorite thing about my channel and what I got sort of popular off of was like getting unboxings, like a few days early in the mail, and people are like, how'd you get it so early? I'm like, well, Best Buy's great with the shipping. And then ever since freaking COVID, everything's gone to shit. Like there's no new releases as frequent anymore because nothing's been coming out, obviously. And when stuff does come out, it either shows up late in the mail or it doesn't get to the store on time. So it's like, dude, I can't win. It's like, the movie Promising Young Woman is going to be coming in the mail tomorrow. I'm excited about that, thankfully. But there's just this giant hole in me right now. I'm like, man, I miss doing Steelbook unboxings so frequently. Like, it was my favorite thing to do. It's like I get to show off the Steelbook, and I don't know. It's just, my giveaways. I don't do giveaways anymore because I can't. Like, dude, I'm so sad. Like, it's just,
I'm sure once more things start coming out, more Steelbooks start coming out. I feel like once things kind of get a little bit more normal, things will be like, oh yeah, okay, let's get kind of back into it. Like, obviously, I'm sure, the Marvel movies are still going to have their steelbooks and all that. And I feel like they will start kind of getting back to it because like last year, and sure, nothing really came out, but they were releasing, I guess it was a good time for them to kind of re-release a lot of their like older movies on like that 4K format and on a steelbook, which is cool. But I feel like things will start getting a little bit more normal. It's just, so many people complain about, like, you always hear the joke about, Netflix, they never have anything. They're always removing stuff. Yeah, it seems like, okay, then why isn't physical media like bigger? I feel like maybe after, like, quarantine is starting to pretty much go down, like, pretty much everywhere. It's like going down a little bit. I feel like once maybe that happens, people start buying physical media more, but I don't know. I feel like people complain, but they don't do anything about it. Like, they're like, oh man, these streaming servers don't have anything. I'm not going to go buy the movie though. I'll just wait for it to come on our streaming service at some point. I don't know. It just, I'll always buy it. Like, I'm a big physical media person because there's always, and it's funny because a lot of my family, they're like, oh, why do you buy those? Like, you can always get something else. Those movies are anywhere. But just recently there was a little power outage, and they couldn't go on any stream. Well, not power outage, but like a service error. They couldn't go on cable. Couldn't go on any streaming service. So we had to rely on just my Blu-rays, which I was like, see,
exactly.
Like, this is like stuff like this is why I collect movies.
Yeah.
Because you always have it there, and you can always watch it no matter what, whenever you want. Not to rely on like if a streaming service has it or whatever, or your internet. And if anything happens, you always have it there, which is what I just love about physical media. And there's all those extras, there's the bonus features, deleted scenes, like that, like all that. It's just like, why would you not want to go get that? And it's not like you have to go to a store to get it. You can easily order most of it online, actually. So I don't know. I guess I just wish physical media would be better. If they didn't make any more physical media copies of Godzilla 2, like, I wouldn't mind. But like everything else, like, keep making. I guess it's okay. I'll buy it.
Oh my god. I don't know. I think by the end of the year, like things will definitely start to look normal for sure. But it's just right now, this is like a really dark time for me. It's like, oh my god, I gotta start doing. I'm gonna start trying to do other videos. Like I want to do more gym videos or something. Like I gotta find something else to do because I feel like I'm
I mean,
sort of
at least you
abandoning
got
my
the
YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
podcast.
this is good. This is a great thing that we're doing. Like I appreciate this, but I gotta do other things too. Like because I this the last video I uploaded was last week's podcast, so it's like I didn't do anything for a whole week. I feel like I'm sort of abandoning my viewers. Not really. I know it's only a week, but for me it feels like an eternity because usually I used to frequently upload so much, but now it's like yeah.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe you can start making that spin-off show. I don't know.
Yeah, I could always go back to doing stop motions or something, but who knows.
Yeah, like we're like obviously I'm pretty sure all the fans are waiting for it. Where's Newt Part 2?
Newt 2. Yeah,
Like,
that might be in the works someday. Who knows? Never say never. That's a
like
hidden gem.
I think like little things like that are like kind of the best things to kind of do right now. Like stuff like you felt like you wouldn't have had time for, or
Mm-hmm.
like we're just like, oh, I have so many other things coming in right now. Like those little things, I guess, are like the best things to do because like, oh yeah, like that's cool, and you have the
Yeah.
time to do it. So I don't know. It's just like it's trying to figure out like what else to do. Like it's been so many months,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like we can't really do the same things over. Like I think you said you ran out of room, so you aren't really getting like pops as much, are you?
Well, I have two actually that I need to unbox. I got two newer ones. I'm not going to reveal them now because they're actually kind of surprise things that I don't know. Some
Oh,
people might appreciate. It's not a big deal, but I like keeping certain things like a little surprise. But yeah, I have two I'm going to unbox this week, and then I have Promising Young Woman, which got nominated for a bunch of Oscars today, which is funny. That's coming tomorrow in the mail on time, thankfully. So I'll unbox that tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know. I just got to start thinking of ideas for other videos. Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know.
yeah.
Are you gonna
Well,
do anything else, by the way? Like, I know you're working on your stop motion show, but are you planning on doing any other videos in the near future?
I was thinking about possibly kind of, and like I mentioned in the last podcast, I have so many movies that like no one had like either hasn't heard of or just completely forgot about.
Uh huh.
Like you had mentioned, like when I was mentioning the movies I had bought in the mail, you're like, I never even heard of that before,
Yeah.
but it's like it has like big actors or something in it, or
Mm-hmm.
it's like a big release. So I don't know, I thought maybe making like a video kind of talking about good movies that probably no one has ever heard of. Like I guess like kind of like how you made that underrated. You should
Uh,
bring that back, by the way. Those
yeah.
underrated gems videos.
I was just gonna say that because I on my channel a long time ago when I was first starting. If you guys want to go back and look, I did a series of videos, underrated movies, movies I sort of considered underrated. They're not really underrated. Some of them, like I put Godfather 3 on there. Like I just consider it underrated, but a lot of people
Oh
don't
yeah,
like that.
did you watch Godfather Coda or whatever? Did you
Oh,
watch
then
that?
the new edit or whatever. I have it, but I haven't
Yeah.
watched it yet. I've heard it's better. I
Okay.
just haven't watched it yet. I'm looking right at it actually. No,
Yeah.
yeah, you should definitely do something similar to that. You should probably call it like I don't know, lesser known movies or something. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just trying to come up with ideas that you like, but also you feel like some other like. Obviously, you're supposed to not really be like try to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like everyone else, or just kind of make what's popular. Like, obviously, the goal is kind of make what
Hmm.
you like making. But it's
Yeah.
like when there's only like so much you can do. Like you said, you like making the steelbook stuff. Like there's only so many steelbooks.
Hmm.
So I guess this is kind of like a way to kind of stretch our creative minds and figure out what we should do. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, I feel like every time I look at your channel, you're getting more subscribers. Like, are you like kind of blowing up right now? I feel like for some reason you are.
No, actually, though, it's actually the opposite of what you just said because I
Really?
check the subscriber count once in a while, and it's pretty much the same. Like, because I'm not uploading as frequently. Like, it's been stagnant. It's been 11.6 for I think a month. Like, it hasn't really gone up.
Yeah. I recently have gone up. Like, it's so like you see these people, these big YouTubers, they get like thousands of new subscribers a day.
Right.
But I just got like a couple little, like just a couple, but that was like, whoa, like, people are really starting to subscribe. Like,
That's good.
it's just, yeah, it's just like, I had, I think in the past month, like my last two videos, you know, the Blu-ray collection video and the Steelers one, they were like, they're not doing bad. Like I was like, wow, like people actually like were wanting to watch
Okay.
this. And
Yeah.
you know, I've got like a couple, like I think when I first uploaded the Steelers one, I think it was like 99, 98 subscribers or whatever. And now I'm at like 106 after this more recent Blu-ray video. So it's like, wow, that's like cool. Like having kind of like that little, it just every, I guess, subscriber counts when you're kind of at this state.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's good to do a Blu-ray collection video, like maybe once a year or so, because I've done a couple. Like I think I've done 3 total, like once a year, and they actually do get a lot of views. Like if you look, my latest one I did last year, I think it's got like I don't know how many. It's five digits of views. I forget how many, but yeah, those are good to do once a year. Like people like looking up
And like,
Blu-ray collections, like big ones.
and people are probably saying like, oh wow, they're only doing it for the views, but it's like we're not doing it for the views to make money.
Oh
We're
no
doing
no
it for
no.
the views so we can
Yeah.
get subscribers and people kind of actually watching our stuff and to interact with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, don't be like, oh, you guys only doing this for the money. No,
We're trying to just try
I'm
to
not even,
expand our audience. You know what I mean, and try to see.
yeah, I'm not even monetized yet. I know Tyler is, but like,
Yeah.
you
You're
know,
not.
we're
By
not
the
doing
way,
it for that.
I'm pretty sure you can monetize. You can't monetize. What are the rules?
I checked. I used to, but after like this new rule, like about a year or so ago, it was like you have to have a certain amount of subscribers and a certain amount of views per month to be able to be considered. After
Oh.
that, you don't have to worry about it. But like at first, you have to be reaching a certain amount of views per month, or at least like a certain amount of subscriber growth. So yeah.
Okay. And by the way, anyone listening to this who hasn't subscribed to Aaron yet, please subscribe to him because he'll put out more videos. I know of it. He will, but trust me, it's worth it to subscribe to both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much going on right now, but I do plan on doing stuff. And I do have a couple videos, not big crazy things, but you know, I still am planning on making a little bit more. So yeah. We've ended we've ended every podcast with some sort of food. Should we end it with this time?
I don't know.
I guess we don't. I guess just don't be a Red Sox fan. I guess it's a bad day to be a Red Sox fan. I don't know.
Bad year to be a Blu-ray collector or physical media collector.
Oh yeah, bad year to be a Blu-ray collector.
I don't know.
I try to end this optimistically, but you know.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever top the gangbang. Like I don't think that's ever going to be possible.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be the most legendary title. This one's called Godzilla 2 Gives Aaron a Migraine. I know that.
And if that's like too long for some reason, it'll be something similar. Like by the time you guys are seeing this, so.
But yeah, I think we went over an hour. I think we've gone 70 minutes so far. That's pretty good, actually.
I mean, we kind of expected it. This was like a longer type of video or podcast, I guess. Just don't watch Godzilla 2. If you get anything out of this podcast, just don't watch Godzilla.
And if 2. You have, I'm sorry if you have, you can't get those 2
hours.
We
feel bad for you here. Here at the we definitely we feel sorry. We're gonna send our regards to you over here at the podcast, the Poppin podcast. So we wish you a good mind cleanser one day, hopefully.
So hopefully,
but I think that about wraps it up.
So yeah, that's it for episode 3. Stay tuned for next week. Episode 4, who knows what it's going to be called?
Yeah. Who knows what we'll find? Yeah, who knows what we'll find next week? Some crazy obscure topic to rant about.
Yeah.
Just leave comments, I guess, about what you think about Godzilla 2, and if it's positive, I mean, you might be wrong, but you probably are. So
yes, please, people, in the comments on this episode in particular, let us know your thoughts on Godzilla 2 in detail. We will reply to you. We will discuss it, and
we will discuss it if you want. If you're open to that,
civil discussion.
A civil discussion, yes. But watch, we're gonna lose every subscriber because apparently imagine every single one of your subscribers are like massive Godzilla 2 fans.
Well,
no.
Well, they can leave if that's the case. See you later. Just kidding. I love all my subscribers. You guys are cool. All right, so that's about it for this episode. I'm Tyler,
I'm Aaron.
and we just popped off. See you later.
See ya.